Live and direct, Fabian AllBallTV. Stephen A. Smith totally out of line for what he said about Max Kellerman.
Y'all know the difference between something that's stale and something you pumped up for. You just know.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I was feeling. And it was like, listen, I had mad respect from him from the standpoint that white dude, highly intelligent, Ivy League educated from Columbia, smart as a whip, can talk his ass off, can talk about anything. And I get all of that. But you weren't an athlete and you weren't a journalist. And the absence of the two components left people wondering, why should we listen to you? Okay, well, you might have had that figured out on Sports Nation, or you might have had that figured out on another show. But on this show, if you looked at the content emanating in the social stratosphere, meaning YouTube and other components that you use to measure one's cachet, Q ratings, focus groups, all of these different things, it was like I was damn near doing the show by myself because we were oceans apart in terms of cachet. Well, how are you oceans apart from me if you sitting right across from me 5 days a week for the whole 2 hours? Because one of us is resonating and one of us is not in that platform. And so for me, I was like, look, this is what it is. And we had a number of conversations, one-on-one, many, many times. I know this audience. I know what they're looking for. I know what they need, et cetera, et cetera. At some point, you're going to do what you need to do or you don't. And if you don't do what you need to do, I'm going to get somebody who will. That's me, and I made no qualms about it. Now, I didn't have the authority to let him go.
But you have coffee with the person that.
How about that? How about that? And so what I did was, I've been very honest and very consistent about it. There's nothing personal. We weren't enemies or anything. To be real, we ain't spoke since, other than hi and bye. Or if I had to go on the show when they were doing the morning show, I would get interviewed. But there's been no conversation since, and that's fine with me. That's no problem, because it wasn't like we were boys or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it was all business to me. And it was about, look, man, I'm trying to win. And I don't believe I can win with you. That doesn't mean it's your fault. It means we don't work. So when I went upstairs to management, my exact words were, look, if he's that important to you, give him first take. I'll leave.
Stephen A.
Stephen A. I'm telling you what I said. I'm only giving you what I said.
Now, this is the issue again that we have with Stephen A. Smith. We keep making Stephen A. Smith videos because they go viral. Stephen A. Smith is antagonizing Terrell Owens. He's on Twitter. He's going on every podcast because this is the game. YouTube helps you go viral. When your name keeps being resonated on YouTube, it helps pull in the YouTube, the ESPN YouTube plugs. That's why ESPN hired Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp, or they're working with them, because they're all in the internet's algorithm, and it's all true. Get it. But as I said in the previous video with Terrell Owens, Max Kellerman being let go from ESPN, initially was First Take. They changed him out of there. It's okay to want to change, but I think Stephen A. Smith is saying what they were saying within closed doors. People are confused as to what side to take with Max Kellerman. They're trying to figure out what side to take, because Max Kellerman does not belong on that show. He just doesn't. He's way too much of a scientist. He's not a debater. So that's not his style. So, but to say he's not a journalist and to say he's not an athlete, a former athlete, either one, and that takes away the credibility, and that's the reason why the viewers didn't like him on there. No, maybe they just want you two guys together. That's why he was too logical to be part of that show, because there was no circus. He's not to say he's not a clown, because I think people go crazy with that. But I think Max, everything he analyzes, he does it from more of a broad standpoint. He does take certain antagonistic points of view, like with the Knicks, and yeah, but he earned our credibility, especially in the last 20 years, because of how he came up. The public access way. Like, he's doing this YouTube thing before it was YouTube. He's doing it on TV, public access, before you can, like, from the ground up. So for him, I don't get where Stephen A. Smith thinks he could talk to people like that. You understand? Because this is rough, man. Like, if he sees Max Kellerman, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, Stephen A's trying to call out T.O., and if you notice, there's certain people he doesn't do that with. Like, I don't understand. With Kenyon Martin, he speaks a certain way. Like, treat everyone the same way. That's my thing. And there's a lack of respect for Max Kellerman, no matter what. I don't care how many people ask you that question. Yo, bro, I already answered that question. Go look it up. Like, I don't want to keep, talking down on the guy that I used to work with. And now everyone's gonna look at it a certain way if I keep talking about it. Period. There's nothing wrong with avoiding that question now. Because people are gonna think whatever they want to think now. Now you're just overly defensive because we don't get it. I get it. You wanted him out because you wanted to make the show better and make it more of a debate, barbershop style show. That's not what Max Kellerman's not gonna bring more ratings to that with you guys. He can do it on other shows. He can do it on a show that's built from the ground up. Max Kellerman, when he does YouTube, is gonna get a big following. Guaranteed. He's gonna get a big following. Everyone's gonna anticipate, what he's gonna say about Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if he's gonna talk about him. I think he's just gonna, hopefully he does, because we want him, he got the people that his true fans are gonna be on YouTube. And he can't be there yet because he's collecting that money that ESPN gave him. So I can't be mad at him about that. But Stephen A. Smith is just dead wrong. He's dead wrong. There's no way around that. There's certain things you have to take a loss on. And you have to be a part of the fact that, this is how the sausage is made. That's the thing with the internet. You see with Deion Sanders, he's bringing a lot of attention to the Colorado Buffaloes. They're not really a number one team, right? He's showing you how a team goes from the bottom of the barrel to the top, from the ground up. And they're showing there's a lot of things you're being privy to that normally gets glossed over by the media and stuff like that. Stephen A. Smith is letting you know the process, and that's cool. But there's a reason why the public doesn't need to know everything. Period. Keeping it real can go wrong. Dave Chappelle told you this 20 years ago. Stephen A. Smith got Queens looking bad. I think Max is from the Bronx. That's a shame. That's a shame to do that to that guy. It just is. No, he's not going to be as popular as you are. Not everyone's going to be. But just because you're the most popular artist or rapper, it doesn't mean you're necessarily better. That's that again, going back to the Nas and Jay-Z thing, right? People for a certain time, they just thought it was a clear cut Jay-Z is better than Nas because he was commercially more successful, right? But Jay-Z just happens to be great at making commercial records. Nas, not so much. We didn't want to hear that from him. His forte is his forte. And when they battled, people were shocked with Nas's response. And it's like, they're both the elite. Max is still a part of the elite media. He still became a part of that, and he did it his own way. To take that away from him is insane. And Stephen A. Smith should be ashamed of himself with that. He got to take that loss, man. He got to take that loss.